today. The deorbit burn is going to be a hefty one, a 16.5-minute burn. They'll fire those. Once they do that, they are committed to land in Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, so super exciting day. Like Gary said, we're going to be bringing live coverage throughout all of it. So it's going to be a long one, but we're excited to bring the crew home today. Like we mentioned before, they have been doing lots of checkouts for their departure, including suit checkouts and checking out the actuators. Oh, there we have a live view inside Crew Dragon. We can see them. You can see, I love this view because you can actually see what they're seeing on their display screens.
Yeah.
Obviously a map of the world there showing position location, and we can, on the either side is also an indicator showing where the Crew Dragon thrusters will actually be firing from once those are actually happening.
The maneuvers of Dragon itself are pretty much automatic. They're going to be pretty much hands-off, particularly through the fly-around. The fly-around, they do have the ability to do some manual thruster maneuvers, but the manual piloting capability for the fly-around maneuver will not be possible. So it's really up to the Dragon and his computers to make that full loop. And again, it's really just an hour and a half long.
Go for the LIO steps.
And Endeavour SpaceX, we can give you a go for step 3.1. You are go to complete LIO configuration, IMV teardown, and hatch closure per procedure 2.103. And reminder, we are going to be using LIO cartridge 2.
Copy LIO cartridge 2, and all the rest you said. Thanks a bunch.
All right, continuing to configure that Dragon for its departure. For the past 6 months, Dragon has been relying on the ECLSS, or environmental control systems, of the International Space Station. Hatches have pretty much been open, and they have access to it, and they've been able to circulate some air through the pressurized mating adapter. But now that Dragon is departing, it has to rely on its own systems. And of course, the LIO canisters, the lithium hydroxide, those have the very, very important environmental control capability of scrubbing carbon dioxide from the cabin of the Dragon.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out while we have this shot, you can see there in the center where that circle is, so that is the hatch for the nose cone. That's actually the window that they'll be taking photos from. So while that hatch is currently open, we can, looks like we got some waves there. You can actually see the window itself where the crew will be taking photos from during the fly-around procedure, as Gary mentioned before.
There are a couple of positions that that the crew themselves can be in. It'll be up to, you can see the window itself is pretty small, and they'll have a handheld DSLR camera to be able to take photos. And it's completely up to their comfort level on what position they decide to be in. They're in space, so they don't really need to worry about up or down. So you can see them in essentially the same orientation that they are in now, just essentially putting their feet towards the where the cargo is, and heading out that way. They also have the ability, if they desire, to flip completely upside down and hang their feet on the seats themselves. It might provide a better angle. Who knows? This will be the first fly around for Dragon.
SpaceX for display alpha.
Go ahead.
Hey Shane, we're going to go ahead and have you cycle the power to display alpha. We are still investigating potential causes on the ground, but we'd like to start with this step.
Okay, and that's just turning the display off and on the touchscreen. Is that it, or is there something bigger than that?
We're going to actually power cycle it using the display power button in the control panel.
Copy that. Some work.
And we're seeing that procedure happen real time now. A simple power cycle is what you and I do at home. Whenever our laptop is not working, we turn it off and on again. A very simple fix, but they'll analyze to make sure that display is working
alert for the power cycle.
Okay, all it's cranking back up now. I'll let you know what you see.
On the left, you're getting a view from inside Mission Control Hawthorne. That's the core position, essentially the same as the Capcom position in Mission Control Houston. The voice from Mission Control Hawthorne up to the crew inside Dragon. Behind the displays, you can see Thomas Pesquet, mission specialist. He'll be flanking Shane Kimbrough and Megan MacArthur. Him and Aki Hoshide, both the mission specialist for the Crew 2 mission.
On display Alpha.
SpaceX copies, still stale data on display Alpha. We are going to continue looking at this on the ground, and I'll have more words for you shortly.
Denver copies.
What you're hearing is the communications from the core here in Mission Control Hawthorne up to the Endeavour crew. Just getting Dragon configured is going to be about 2 hours from now until they physically separate or undock from the International Space Station's Node 2 Harmony port on the zenith or space-facing side. Getting some views of the Earth now. They'll be able to see a lot of that during their journey. Again, about over the course of 8.5 hours, they'll see a few sunrises and sunsets. So we'll see what happens during the fly-around maneuver, fly-around. Again, we'll take about an hour and a half. We have a lot coming up. We're just about 5 minutes away from the scheduled hatch closure period.
And Endeavour LIO changeout 1709.
Copy, LIO changeout at 1709.
And they're changing out those lithium hydroxide canisters, making sure they have fresh canisters able to scrub carbon dioxide for the journey home. So that will start about 5 minutes from now when they close the hatches. It'll take some time until they actually physically undock from the International Space Station, because there are about 3 hatches that separate the International Space Station crew from the Dragon crew. The first hatch that they'll close, we're seeing it in the background when we got that over-the-shoulder view from inside Dragon, but that was the forward hatch of the Dragon. That is the Dragon hatch.